Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Timber and Stone. I don't know where we're continuing from. We're just continuing. It's dawn. Everybody just got up, started running around doing their thing. I set up for them to build some of the supports, the edges of the house here, and a little bit of scaffolding. Did that off camera, and I filled in that hole for that door because we're not going to use a door. And then I set the top three to be placed over that door. And we're still waiting on this to be built and them to be mined out so that we can then build the doubles. We can finish this roof. And that's the goal today, is to finish that roof, hopefully, and to try and get this one going or close to done. And then we're going to start with this wall and bring this wall over and then bring it down. And then we can get rid of all this wall and all of this wall. And it'll all be just one big square, and then we can really start focusing on building. I've got them taking out the extra ores that were on the ground there, and then we'll fill all that back in. And yeah, it sounds like a lot, but it is a lot. We've got some wolves across the way we're going to go kill here in a little bit. That's the campfire from the goblin invasion that came yesterday. And then today, as you can see, we got some wolves up there, over there. They're not too many. We'll just take our two infantry guys over there and kill them. Not a big deal. What is that, a dead spider? Yeah, gather them resources. That's a black or lumberjack. All right, so let's let it go. We are also looking at this area as to what we want to do with it. Since we were able to fit our herders area over here in our livestock pens, then that basically freed up all this area. So what I was thinking is that we could take like this much of this area and just build like a big stockyard type deal. Something for all this storage that we need. I mean, we're always running out of storage, and I think we'll actually take it underground, and we'll get fancy with it. I had been spending a little time with Ethel on his, watching him build one of his worlds. He was streaming it for me. And those of you that are not aware, Ethel is one of the devs that's currently working on the game. He is doing this really, really cool underground base. And I mean, it's really freaking cool. He builds the walls, he builds ceilings, torches along the tops of the walls, up and down balconies, all kind of stuff on it. It's just ridiculous how much detail he's put into it. I mean, he's really doing a great job on it. And I had the opportunity yesterday to sit with him and talk to him and pick his brain and you know, watch him build his stuff. And you get to seeing what these devs are doing with the available options in this game. And it's some of their stuff, man, makes my stuff look like shacks. Put it like that. I mean, mine look like, it's like a little shack. Just the detail and stuff. I mean, it's just so different when you know exactly what can be done and how it can be done, and you've got a little bit more creativity than I do. You know, it's amazing what you can do with this game. So I'm going to kind of follow suit on what he did a little bit. I'm not going to completely copy his deal, but I'm going to take and I'm going to build an above ground building here somewhere, and we're going to use our town, the underneath of our town, to build storage. I don't know how big it's going to be. It's not going to start out really big. I'll probably end up doing a lot of it after I do the first room on camera. I'll do the additional rooms off camera, so that I'll just show you as I come in. All right, yeah, look, I added another room for storage. You know, that type of deal, so that you can see how to do it. And then from there, you know, it's pretty easy once you've seen it done. That's like me. I watched him. I never even considered some of the stuff that I saw him doing, and it was like, wow, man, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you really could. I didn't think about it. Didn't even cross my mind. I mean, ceilings underground. Who bothers with ceilings underground? He did. Ethel does. He had full ceilings, and I mean, huge rooms that I sat there with him for about 5 hours, and during that 5 hours, his guys were digging out these rooms, and he had about a good dozen or so miners digging. And it took them like 3.5 to 4 hours just to dig out the room. It was ridiculous how much work went into it. So I'm not going to do anything like that because it's a YouTube show, and it would really, really stretch the time limits, that we have. But I will do a building here And then, you know, a little basement up underneath it where I'll redo the walls and show you how to do the ceilings, how he did them. And then I might, you know, I'll expand it later and move it on, you know, throughout the city by myself off camera, and then just show you progress reports. And that's what I've been talking and waiting for, was for them to get that finished. Now that they've done that, I can come back and go to construction again, construction, terrain, stone, and we can fill in these. There we go. Once we get them, we can come down like so, go like so, get all of this junk filled in so that we can then lay the foundation. Now, a lot of you might look and say, well, why bother filling it in if you're just going to build stuff underneath it, over top of it? And I'll show you why here in just a few seconds, because I've already screwed up, and I found it, noticed it off camera. Now, it's only a couple blocks, so I'm not going to tear the ground up on camera and fix it, but I will eventually probably fix it. But here, I'll show you in just a second why I'm doing this. Oh, any day now. Come on, Shane, get that shit done, boy. There we go. And that looks like all of it. We got a couple new ones, few here that we got to dig out. So let's go back out to dig. We're going to dig out this silver, or this tin rather. Get that iron. And then there's a piece there. They actually dug under on accident. I didn't really want them to. Oh, I see that. I see why they're doing it too. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Yeah, like that. Go over, hold shift and alt, get rid of that, because I don't want that dug out. I didn't want it, so I'm going to have to fill all that back up. And I'm not going to be able to get that one either, because it's up underneath that lip and they can't do it. There's a few under there actually if you look, but we're not going to worry about that. It's just one piece, so not a big deal. We're going to take some stone and we're going to fill all that back in. And then to there, and then we'll go ahead and fill this back in, because that needs to be full. And we'll leave the rest of it because I'm not too concerned with it. We need to put a block in there. All right, so that's that. It'll all get built in, and we'll just unpause it, let them keep doing that. That's another thing that I noticed about Ethel. He never pauses the game, ever, ever. I think I saw him pause it maybe twice that entire 4 or 5 hours that I was watching him. And he kind of prides himself on it. He's like, well, I don't pause it. I don't pause the game at all. And I'm like, okay, well, you don't pause your game. I pause mine, though. I wish I didn't pause mine as much as I do, because then, you know, the day cycle is like 32 minutes, a full day. And I pause so often that my, ooh, there's some copper. I'm like that dog on Up. Ooh, squirrel. But I pause mine so often that I end up not getting even the complete, just the day cycle, not even counting the night too in mine, in my videos, because I pause too damn much. All right, so, oh, they're done. Outstanding. So let's go ahead. We'll go over here to construction, and we'll get this going. Full timber. All right, we want it from there to here, from there to here, from there to here, right? Is that right? I can't tell. There we go. And then from there. Now these are going to be a little bit different, the tops of them. As you can see, the tops of them are going to be too wide on this house because I didn't measure front to back properly. Front and back needs to be an odd number, and mine wasn't. It was an even number. So you end up with where the whole building, as you can see here, it's 12 wide. You want to try and make them odd numbers. That way, when you're putting your roof on, you have a single, you know, beam on the top of it, that odd man out, to put it, you know, in rhetoric. There they go. Now they can build that, and then after they've built that, we'll go check this other one real quick. Yeah, it's all mined out. So here we need castle brick. And we're going to go to walls, and we'll go to castle brick, and that needs to be there and come out one. There we go. Did I get all the other out? Yes, I did. Well, we've got 314 brick. I guess my guys went over to focus on that other. Is why it didn't get built. Come on, get out there. There we go. See, them chimneys are, as you can see here, them chimneys are barely going to hang out. Did talk to him, and they seemed very optimistic. Now, a lot of the stuff that we talked about I can't talk about, because a lot of the stuff that we talked about is, you know, kind of not extremely hush-hush, but it's stuff that's not really, supposed to be mentioned. They weren't even supposed to tell me some of the stuff. But not that they, gave away any big secrets or anything like that. They didn't. But some of the stuff, that I had mentioned was like one of the big things to me in the game is decor, as you can tell. I mean, I did a house here for my farmers. I did a house here for my herders. And I did a house here for my carpenter. And we're going to do a house right here, probably in the next episode for the stonemasons. Because I want to get about 4 or 5 stonemasons just pumping out bricks. And we've got all these additional people, and hopefully we'll get another person. But I fancy myself on everybody having their own place, kind of like Robert does. Robert does it too. He builds a house for everybody. Well, I build a house for groups, so it's pretty close to the same thing. I build a house for my farmers, for my carpenters, for my blacksmiths, and then I make the house big enough so that they kind of group up and they share the home. That's my mentality for this playthrough. The next playthrough, we might do individual houses for every single person. And we might just have houses blanketed all over the place, which is, that's actually a pretty good idea. And I might eventually, some of the off people that don't really deserve houses, a group of houses like miners, builders, things like that. I might build a bunch of little tiny houses over here or in this extra space, or we might expand and build a bunch of little houses, just big enough for walls, a roof, a door, and, about 5 tiles by about 5 or 6 tiles, just little shacks, basically, shanties, and give them to the people, that are doing the other stuff. What are they doing? Are they all, oh, they're building this over here. Okay. But, I pride myself on that. One of my big qualms right now with the game is beds. The guys, as you've all probably heard me say, they won't sleep in their beds. I mean, you can go to a bed, and you can go to ownership, and you can set the bed to a particular guy. Well, the way that the algorithm works for beds is that right now is they just look for an available bed. Even if they're assigned to a bed, they still just look for an available bed. They also, who's that? Is that my fisherman? What is he doing? He's a freak. He's a daredevil. I'm a wall walker, son. But they just look for the nearest bed. That's it. I mean, even if they've got one assigned. So what we were talking about, and they were talking about, was that it would be real easy to add in a few lines of code to the algorithm where they do their bed search and make it to where if they've got a bed assigned to them, they're forced to sleep in that bed. But then you also have to note that we as players have to be careful about where we place beds, because if we place their beds in places where they can't get to, then they won't be able to get to them and they won't be able to sleep. So they'll run into fatigue problems, or they'll just lay down and sleep on the ground, which we've seen happen anyway, even though we've got beds. But yeah, they're talking that they might be able to fix that. So my biggest qualm might actually get fixed just because I got to sit down and talk to them. And that was friggin' awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it's like I told them. I said, if you got other things to work on, by all means work on them. Because the stuff that I mentioned, like beds, a hold position button for your military, a hotkey so that you can, cycle through just your infantry, and then another hotkey so you can cycle just through your archers. Those are all just, quality of life type additions. They're nothing that's in any way majorly important to the game or that's going to affect. I keep pausing the game. Damn it, Zane, quit pausing the freaking game. If you want to talk, shut the hell up and let them build. But they're all quality of life stuff. It's not things that are going to impact the game very much, so they're very low priority, low key. So I don't expect to see it for a while. And any of the other additions, that are of that style, I'd much rather see a new tile to build with. Or I'd much rather see, enemy, they're going to plan to work real hard on enemies and get enemies as smart or smarter than the AI or than our current worker AI. The big thing that's already been announced on the board, so I can talk about, and I'm really freaking excited about, is the job systems are going to be switched over to a skill system. Now, a lot of you might not understand what that means, because as I read it on the board, I really didn't understand what it meant. If you've played No Moria, is the perfect example. If you've played No Moria, it's basically going to be a lot like the No Moria job system, where you have all of your skills. So if you go into a character and then you check them out, you jump to them, and then you hit F2, I think, right? F2? There. You've got all of your jobs. Well, instead of having all of your jobs, you're going to have skills. It'll be adventurer, what level you are, blacksmith, what level you are, carpentry, what level you are. And then you'll have a listing, do this job, do this job, do this job, do this job. So what happens then is when you assign a job, everybody available to do that job will attempt to do that job. If you've got others, they might even, I hope that they add like a priority system into it too, so that you can prioritize, like where you've got 5 people that are available to do blacksmithing. On 2 of them, you might prioritize, you got 5 guys. 2 of them are doing blacksmithing and 3 of them are doing carpentry and blacksmithing. The 2 that are doing blacksmithing are also doing mining or whatever. If you've got a job priority system, a scale, basically, in other words, a preference of doing this order type thing, just like in No Moria and several other games, then you can say, all right, I want this guy to mine. If there's a mining job, I want that to be his highest priority. So if there's a mining job issued out to the AI, and there's also a blacksmithing job issued out to the AI, he will go do the mining job first, and then he'll come back, and then if it's still up, he'll then do the blacksmithing job. I hope that they add that kind of a priority system to it also, so that you can modify it. But just having the system itself in hand and implemented into the game will be awesome. Because what it'll mean is that you'll no longer have to go into here and change your job. You'll just have to tell somebody that they can do that job, and then whenever the job becomes available in the job queue, if he's available to do it, he'll go do that job. You won't have to swap them around, and he'll gain experience for that job while doing it. So you can it'll work out a lot better than it does now, I think, because where you run into the bottlenecks of this issue right here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people sitting here in town, just sitting here in the town hall doing absolutely squat. Well, that's because I just finished all the mining. They finished the mining, and I had like 6 or 7 people mining. But I had all them people. They're all just sitting there now. Well, I've got all these actually I don't, but I've got a few building jobs up, and if I had some other building jobs and mining jobs, they would all automatically, with the new system, go over and start building also, if I had building them enabled to build also. And they would mine when mining needed to be done, and then they would go build when building needed to be done, and then they could do blacksmithing if that needed to be done, if they were assigned to do it. And I'm really psyched about it and can't wait. So, all right, we've got this done. I'm going to keep talking about it, don't worry, but I'm just going to put this roof on. I don't want this to just be an entire episode of me yakking. But I found out a lot of really cool stuff. Thatch roof, wood too. We're going to do wood tiles on this one. I like the wood tiles. I mean, I do like the new thatch, but not for these. I don't want every house to have thatch roofing. All right, so let's turn it around so that it's facing the right way. And then we're going to go like so, hold shift, and there we go. Let's just do all of this side first. That'd be easier. There we go. And we talked about a lot of stuff. They're really nice guys. Really, just the cool thing about them is, the 2 that I was talking to was Z and Ethel, who are, what the heck, I'm holding shift. There we go. Now it'll work, right? And they, Ethel most, and then Z came in and talked for a little while. And they're both the devs that work on the, 2 of the devs. Robert wasn't around. I didn't get to talk to him. I really would have liked to, because there's a lot of things I'd like to ask him about. But, it was a casual, just, here you go type event. And it was really cool of them to let me come in and hang out and talk and see their ideas and hear some of the stuff that they're thinking about. I mean, like I said, they didn't go into depth about some of the stuff that's kind of hush-hush. And they did let slip a couple things that, they said that people weren't supposed to know about, so I'm not mentioning those things. But the stuff that, like I said, that we did talk about, that they mentioned, was a lot of the stuff that's on the forums already, and things that they're planning, and things that are going on. And man, this game is just really, I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm really excited about it. They're planning here sooner or later to start, as soon as possible probably, because it sounded like it was a big deal, to start really, really focusing on sieges and monsters. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this done and talk. I'm trying to work and think at the same time. Saying you're supposed to be able to do that. You're a YouTuber. But there we go. And I think they're going to have problems with that, but we'll see. Yeah, well, one person will be able to get up. That's all that matters. All right. Did I pause I paused the game through all that like a retard. Good golly. But, you know, there's... Ooh, I didn't bring that one out either. I see where it's messed up. I don't think I have to. I don't have to. I didn't hear either, so that's fine. But yeah, sieges. They're really hyper psyched about the sieges. They can't wait till they get to where they can do that. Of course, the monster AI and tweaks and stuff is going to come first, I would guarantee. But eventually there will be sieges where the monsters, your goblin, you know, infantry and forces and stuff, will eventually have things like trebuchets, ballistas, catapults, and all that other stuff. And they will eventually, you know, tackle your town or try to. And he even mentioned something that kind of scared me, was the concept that they might take over your town. So if they can get to your town and damage it up enough and force you out of it so that you have to retreat with a couple guys, they might then take up residence. This might actually be in the game at some point. They might actually take up residence. Now, it's not something they said was going to happen, that they were definite, you know, whatever. So don't quote me on any of this. I'm just saying that this was during the conversation was mentioned, was that the orcs and stuff might actually take up residence in your town. You know, it could eventually get to that point. And you then have to try and build a small establishment outside of your town and then take it back. And that would be freaking amazing. That would be awesome. It's not necessarily in the game if they happen to breach your walls and get in and kill a bunch of your people. You can get a bunch of them and move them out and maybe save the day, that type of deal. But, you know, just the mechanics that they were talking about, some of this stuff, it's going to be really difficult for them to do a lot of it. It really is, because it's, you know, a lot of it's going to be basically new terrain, new grounds that other gaming companies really haven't stepped on. So it's really cool to, you know, like I said, to have sat there and talked to them and to have picked their brains and to have listened to them and heard, you know, the mentality behind the developer, basically. The way that what they're thinking about doing and what they want to do and what they were wanting to accomplish and whatnot else. And yeah, it was just a really nice conversation that day. I enjoyed myself extremely. And then to watch Build, you know, Ethril, watch him build, you know, the way that he was doing it all up underground, it was just... It was ridiculous. I mean, I have patience in this game, and I love playing it. I really do love this game. And it was really, like I said, it was cool to sit around and yak with somebody else that's as adamant about the game as I am, and to watch them do their thing. It was a lot of fun. Like I say, I can't express it enough. It was a lot of fun. So, we have done absolutely squat except for working on roofs and listen to me yak at you. So let's let me pause the game. I know, don't pause the game, Zane. God dang it. We're going to grab our infantry guys, and we're going to start moving them out. We're going to kill them wolves. And I'm not even going to bother with archers. I'm just going to leave is he not over there now? Yeah, no, he's not. Where's he at? Is that him? Jeffrey, get your ass back over there and train. Now, this is one thing that they do know. You know, I talked to him, I asked him about it. This is one thing that they definitely know about. They know that archers are messed up. What it is the AI is having a problem finding the archery target. Now, there's solutions for it, where I've got these here. You could build archery targets right here, and the guy, if he happens to come within range of it, he'll go practice on it. And that's the trick with the archery targets, is you have to get them within range. If you get them within range, then they'll go use it. Let's click him and click stop. So that's all you have to do, is get them to within range, and then they'll go use them. They know that it's messed up. I also asked them another question I've mentioned a few times about archery, your archers. And why wasn't because I was confused. I really couldn't remember about the archers having a range indicator. They used to have, and I was right, they did actually used to have a range indicator, a big yellow globe, a bubble, a circle. It was like a globe, really, not a circle. But they had a big yellow globe around them, and it was it would show you that when an enemy came within sight of it, they would then engage that enemy. And let's start moving these guys over here. But it was accidentally, apparently it was, it was accidentally taken out during the 1.51 or 1.52 patch update, and it just hasn't been put back in yet. Now, he didn't officially say that they were intending to put it back in, but I kind of got the impression that eventually they were going to put the code back in for it so that you would be able to see your archer's range, because that's actually a pretty important thing at times. Another thing that I had mentioned to him, and a guy had posted on the forums, that it made a lot of sense, you know, was the U menu. The U menu right now, over to the right-hand side, it jumps to your guide. But when you do it, if you go to infantry, when I jump, you lose where you were. Basically, it changes your view from where you were. And I had asked him, well, you know, what about the guy? I mean, there was a guy that mentioned, well, okay, if you click on their name, it'll just select them, and it won't jump you to them. So at that point, basically what I could do is I could go to Zacchaeus, and then I could right-click right here, and Zach would walk there. I could then click on Oster while still sitting and looking at this screen, and it would target Oster. It would select him, and then I could right-click and make him walk there. And then the same thing for whoever, you know, whatever else that I wanted to do. And he said that he doubts that he's going to put it on the name, but he's highly likely going to put something like that eventually into this, and it'll just be another button. It might be another button over here next to jump, and then, you know, just select, or it might be a button over here to select, or a button in front of it to select or something. But he said that he was highly likely going to put something like that in the game. Now, he didn't say definitely, but he said that it was likely that something like that would be added, because it was such a pain in the ass for everybody involved to get their guys, you know, into position and move them and stuff like that. Now, I did also ask him, remember how I mentioned in a couple episodes back about when you target somebody, how you see that, and then you target somebody else and you see that, the ability to see everybody so that you move them all into place. And he said that that was very unlikely to happen, because that actual target indicator is part of the pathfinding AI for each, and it's set up for each individual character. So like this particular tune has his pathfinding AI going, and this one does, and they would basically have to gut the pathfinding AI in order to pull that out and then add it back in a different manner, and it would just be a lot of, and I agreed, it would be a lot of unnecessary work. So, you know, we'll see where it goes as far as, you know, grouping and all that other stuff. It might be that they're able to, and we didn't really talk about this, this is just coming from my brain. It might be that if they ever eventually add in the ability to group things, you know, to group like these three soldiers. If I could group these three soldiers together, then what I could also would be able to do with that, let's just line them up right here, because the wolves are coming. I'm just going to let them kill them. Done. There's one group. But if they eventually add in the ability to group units like these, then it would be, you know, less of a problem. And the reason that I say that is because what they could then possibly do is add in a group pathfinding system. You know, just a basic group, like select your group, tell it to walk here, and all three of them walk there. And then once they get there, they stop in a position within, say, 9 tiles around that. You know, the 9 tiles that surround it, or however many there are. I think it's 3, 6, 8 tiles around it. And that would work with it. That would work and do the same exact thing. But that was something that I didn't think of then. I just thought of it now. So it wasn't something that I had the opportunity to talk to them about. So, you know, and they've got so friggin' much. So much. That guy's not dead. What is that, though? Oh, it's 2 wolves. Never mind. That's a gray and black wolf. Or gray and white wolf, rather. So let's go over there and kill him before we finish the episode. We've still got a minute and a half or so. But yeah, I mean, I did get to sit and talk with these guys, and it was an amazing conversation. It really was. I had a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it again. They told me that I can come back in anytime that I wanted, and just not to bother them when they were doing their code, because that means that they're working. So stay the hell out, Zane, when we're working, because when we're working, we ain't got time to talk to no YouTuber. We're doing code, son. And I was like, yeah, man, do some code, boys. Add shit to the game for us. That's what we want right there. And, yeah, so, yeah, it was a pretty pleasant even. Learned a whole lot. Learned a lot about where the project is going, where it's been, and got to see some of their stuff. So, yeah, it was a very eventful evening for me. And I had like 13 videos, you know, compiling in the background for you guys. So it wasn't a completely fruitless evening for me also. There is a lot of, I've got a lot of videos on my hard drive. In fact, I've got to buy a new hard drive on the first because I'm so out of, space. It's just ridiculous. I've only got a 1 terabyte hard drive in my computer. I mean, it's what I could afford when I built the computer. And I thought they were coming at me, but they're not. They were just moving. All right, so let's move you there, move you there. We're going to move you there. And then they should come at us. So I'm going to buy like a 2 or 3 terabyte hard drive, and I'm going to use it just for my videos. All right, let's do this. Let's stop you. Let's stop you. And let's stop you. And then we're just going to select this guy and say charge enemy, and then they'll go for him. And he's going to run past them because they always do. Oh, I'm a stupid wolfie. And then there they go. And then there they go. And all the wolves are dead, I believe. Let's check the map real quick to make sure. And we accomplished it. We did. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's some other 2 dead wolves. Or 3 dead wolves, however many there were. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and check the whole map, though. We're just hitting time. Actually, a minute over. But I'm sure you guys don't mind. I mean, come on. You want an hour and a half a day. So, 35-minute episode. Hey, you get an extra 5 minutes. Loving that, huh? But, yeah. I really enjoyed my time, though. And, yeah, I think that's going to be close. Let's go. Before I move them, let's see how far they got it. I think they're busy over here or something. Did they, like, fall in a river? Maybe if I just leave it unpaused, and maybe they could get some work done. Because that's probably what they're thinking. Dude, if you just let us work and quit pausing the damn game, everything would be groovy. Are all my builders in here? Yeah, why are my builders sitting here? Oh, I don't have any timber. Why didn't you guys tell me I didn't have no timber? Come on, guys. You guys are supposed to tell me. I'm sure it's going to be in the comments, though. Zane, you don't have any timber. They can't build the daggum timbered wall. They can't build your roof. But all right, yep. It was a pretty eventful episode, I guess. And we killed a few wolves. And we got our ceilings going. And I'm going to off camera for the rest of this day. Set up about 3 or 4 carpenters and just have them pump out some... was there only 4? I only see 4 wolves there. Something's wrong. There might be 2 in a pile right there or something. They do that sometimes. We'll see. But I'll have some carpenters pop out some timber. And I think we still got 425 plaster. And what the heck? Look at that white. That's weird. That's very strange. Huh. It's clouds. Oh, that's awesome. It's sunlight coming down through the clouds. That's awesome. But I'd never noticed that. I never have. Maybe because I keep the game paused too damn often. It's because it's starting to turn dark. I like that. I never noticed that effect at all. I've never noticed that effect. Watch this roof here. Oh, yes, it actually does. That is fantastic. I've never noticed that. Hopefully you guys have. Hopefully you guys are more attentive. We're also going to set all this to be mined also, because we've got to cut it all down and put grass back in there. And we'll do that off camera. Or I'll start it off camera and then let them work. So, yeah, we're done here. I will see you guys in the next episode. Hope that you enjoyed this one. My little archer over here still shooting away. Good job. What level is he? He's up to 9. Good, good, good. And if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.